any day you go fishing, it's always fun. But a day that you get to go fishing with somebody that's the reigning angler of the year on Bassmaster makes it pretty special. Now, I'm kind of spoiled. I get to hunt and fish with Clark a lot and have for about the last 15 years. But, you know, this is going to be a little bit different trip because I'm gonna go through Clark's boat. I'm gonna show you some behind the scenes things that maybe he'll even share a secret that it was key. I've got a few random questions from people that might embarrass him, might not. We're gonna do some serious stuff and maybe even catch a fish. I don't know.
I bet we'll catch one today.
I bet we do.
On today's episode of the Bass Pro Shop's Fisherman's Handbook, host Wade Middleton will be joined by good friend and reigning Bassmaster Angler of the Year winner, Clark Wendlandt. Clark just claimed his 4th career AOY title in 2020 and is preparing to start the new season very soon. Get ready to enjoy this episode as we take a closer look into Clark's work ethic, his support system at home, and the gear that helped him earn the title as Best Angler on Tour last year.
You know, there are accomplishments in your personal life, your business life, your competitive life, whatever it may be, that are something that you can't put the value on. Outsiders have to look at it and put that value on it. And an Angler of the Year title, even in your little club tournament, is something to be incredibly proud of. To win 4 major Angler of the Year titles in a little over a 20-year career is something that I think is astounding. Clark's up there already trying to figure them out how to catch them, but you know, this is pretty cool right here. What a great photo right there. It talks about, you know, Clark. It shows you the end of the year, but you know, I've always wondered, Clark, I mean, I've never made the cover of Bassmaster magazine and probably never will, but did you really catch that fish?
Absolutely not. I don't know how big that fish looks, but it's big, I promise you. I mean, that's like an 8 or 9 pounder. It's a big one.
Yeah,
no
that's
doubt
freaking awesome. Well, we know the cover secret now. Clark didn't catch it, but that's part of the photography in the outdoors world, but that's really cool. And you know, as you look at that entire year, I mean, what an adventure.
Well, you touched on it a little bit, Wade. It was a special year. It just was one of those, and it was really for a variety of reasons, but it was just one of those that just went really well. Started off with good momentum, and I had one hiccup late in the game, but was able to bear through it. At least there was one more tournament. I was in 3rd going into that after that one, and was able to win in the end. But fun, special year.
When you look at the top competitors in the sport of bass fishing, they all have something that has driven them. And I'm talking about the people that have sustained this. I'm not talking about guys that have gone on a 2 or 3 year run. I'm talking about people that have sustained it for a couple, 3 decades. Winning the Angler of the Year's titles, winning major tournaments, being consistent, being in contention numerous times over and over, I think is the pinnacle of the sport of competitive bass fishing. They have proven that they can catch them from coast to coast, you know, and I say the East Coast, the West Coast, all the way to the Gulf Coast, all the way to the Canadian border, and they have proven to be able to do it under any conditions at a variety of times of the year.
I got one. It's pretty big.
Coming up out there.
You're trying to come up. Wade knows what he's doing now. He saw about right where I caught that one. Just coming up after asking questions, and now I have a feeling.
Oh, it's a good one.
I have a feeling he's gonna throw out there and catch one pretty quick.
I learned a long time ago to repeat what the good guys do. Fatty.
Look how thick he is, man. I mean, he's not that long, but he's thick. That's what you call pre-spawn. Good start to the day.
The fish catching is only just getting started, and so is our journey looking back at Clark's Angler of the Year title last season. Coming up after the break, we continue to peel back the curtain and give you a closer look at Clark's season that was. Stay tuned.
The great beyond, the great below, the mystery of the unseen and the unknown. with a rod and a reel, and the spirit of adventure that hangs in the salty air. To find and to fight. It's with that spirit that we design our product at Worldwide Sportsman. It's up to you to put it to the test.
When there's miles of water in front of you and hundreds of feet below, you need a boat with the chops to dominate, no matter the conditions. With the strength and technology to overcome the elements and the competition. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time.
For me, this is a really cool trip. Clark and I get a fishing hunt together many times a year. We talk fishing and hunting a lot. We have a lot of business associates together, so we're always trying to help do things, but we also do get a fish together several times a year in the boat. And this time, we're in Clark's boat, and for me, it's gonna be fun digging around in there, seeing things at how he's got it set up, and just talking fishing. But it's really about reliving the Angler of the Year title. And really, I don't even care if I catch a fish. Watching him fish, I just want to sit in the back of the boat. I want to pick his mind on all the stories that I know behind the scenes, share some of those that have gone on, and kind of just, look a little bit deeper into the mind and the psyche of the Bassmaster Angler of the Year for 2020, Clark Wendlandt. And there's no doubt there's a different gear at the top. But the gear that amazes me when I look at top competitors in any sport, at any level, it's a win mentality. They want to win. They're going to do what it takes to win. And it's not at all costs, because that's, not always the right thing, but they want to win and they're driven to beat people. They set personal goals. You had a goal to win the Bassmaster Angler of the Year. You've already won 3 FLW Angler of the Year. Beat a lot of top anglers. It's hard to win 1, 2, now you win 3, but to win the Bassmaster, that was a long time ago.
It really was. That was I hooked this one while Wade was sitting there talking right there. Yeah, that's probably been, I would say, before I started fishing, that would have been the goal that I wanted more than anything else. Yeah, the Bassmaster Classic, winning it, would be right there with it. But see, the thing is, and Wade, you and I both would say this, when you're thinking about fishing a circuit, whether it's a club circuit, whether it's with your buddies, a regional circuit, any trail you fish, Angler of the Year would be the thing you would want the most. And so it's no different fishing the Elite Series. That's the most coveted one there is. To win the Angler of the Year on the Bassmaster Elite Series is the biggest one. Wade just hooked one. No, he missed it. But yeah, it was a dream for me, and one of those that I've tried for and wanted my whole life. Sounds like a pretty good one.
Well, it was neat to watch, and we talk about giving Patty gray hair and Emily fainting in the parking lot or whatever, but we were at deer camp on that last day doing the math and watching all this break down, and Michael, your son-in-law, Emily's husband, he's walking around. You can just feel it, everybody wanted for you. And I think that's a testament to, who you and the family are and how much you put into the sport, and you talk about the accolades, people coming up to you and clapping and excited about it. And that's legendary status. And that's not something that you get in one day or one event. It's a lifetime accomplishment.
Yeah, well, it was a fun year. It was really cool. Gosh, momentum in fishing is just so interesting. When you start making those right decisions, it's like nothing you can do is wrong. And I wouldn't know what I was going to do for a tournament before I left home ever. I just get there and this would happen, that would happen. I would act on this, what happened here, and that would make me react differently there. And all of a sudden I'd end up doing good in the tournament. And that's just what good tournament fishing is. Yeah. It's hard to explain to people what really good tournament fishing is. It's being able to get to a body of water and change on a dime all the time. You and I sit here and do do instructional videos and talk TV all the time. You say, man, you just got to be willing to do this or that, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
You know, when you know, oh, they're supposed to be here and you're not catching them there, it's hard to go somewhere else. I got one. Good one too. You know, Wade, this is so interesting because this is like, it's like summertime fishing. We're out here fishing deep. I mean, you know, you think about coming to a power plant lake this time of year that you're gonna, you know, fish up shallow because they're gonna be spawning.
Can't assume anything.
No, that's true.
I think that was one of my mistakes younger when I was more into the tournament fishing, is I just assumed, you know, this is what, instead of just letting whatever was going to happen, happen. And you still, what amazes me about you is the drive to get out and just fish. It's not about just showing up at a tournament. You still love to just go fish.
I just like to figure them out. That's what's fun to me. Yeah, and I mean, just the thought of what's going on today, because every day is going to be different. I can go to Travis, which is my home lake, it's going to be different than it was a week ago. It's changing all the time, and so I just like going and figuring it out.
Stetson Blaylock, Todd Orton, Head Terry, let's go!
Garmin Live Scope, I tell you right now, if you don't have it, you are behind. It's just wild. It's like a video game.
If you do not have that Garmin Live Scope, you are definitely missing out.
Bassmaster Classic Champion!
Your time on the water is precious. You return season after season to make unforgettable memories. Fight a few fish, reconnect with friends, and recenter yourself. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters stay with Yamaha for the long run, for life. They know reliability starts here.
From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, we work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Engel, the original high-performance cooler. Sunline America, the strength to guarantee your confidence. And by Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line.
I really owe a lot of the success I had last year to the fact that I spent a lot of time on the water. I mean, Wade, we both know, I mean, the outdoors has boomed since COVID came, and that's one of the great things that's happened is people have realized, man, I really like doing things outside. I like being out there. I mean, I think it's a great thing for our industry, and I got to spend more time on the water than I've ever spent, and I think that's a big key.
Well, what I noticed in just our conversations, because we talk about different things, rod selections, electronics, and you really took that live scope mentality to another level. When I would talk to you, you were talking about things that I'd never thought about, heard about, or seen, and you were being able to read the electronics in a lot different manner.
Well, you know, live scope is it's an amazing technology, and we both talked about that, you know, ad nauseum, and you can see fish. But it's just so much fuller than that. You know, it's so much more than just the fact that, yeah, you can see some fish. What it really is, to me, the most is that I just use it in my everyday fishing, always looking at what's going on, giving me what you know, the way you always describe it, Wade, is another piece of the puzzle. So for me is it's giving me information, whether I'm catching fish, whether I'm not catching fish, whether I'm seeing fish, whether I'm not seeing fish, what cover I'm seeing, how, you know, how the fish are reacting. sometimes it's just like right before a fish bites your bait and something he did right before he bit it that you did with your bait, but it's something that I almost can't tell somebody.
Yeah.
It's something that I just see. And so it's just, for me, Live Scope's just a tool that I've got that I absolutely, you know, I think it's just, you have to have it.
There's one. Another fish.
Good one. You know, Live Scope was real impactful on my year. It played a big part in it, and it helped me repeat those smallmouth, but it wasn't always seeing fish. You know, everybody thinks, oh, he's just seeing fish, but it might be rocks, it might, you know, it could be boulders, it could be, I mean, there could be any multitude of things, but it just helps you with the information gain, what you're seeing down there as you're fishing.
I find I look at that more than anything now. It's just what I like to study.
You know, tournament fishing is really, it's all about efficiency. And so every single thing in this boat is put in there to where I can maximize my efficiency on the water, whether it be finding a school of fish, whether it be seeing an image out on side view, whether it be mapping so I can find a certain structure or something I'm looking for quicker. Live Scope, being able to look and using it as I fish. I mean, I'm looking at multiple screens as I go, you know, as I spend time on the water. Everything in here's kind of got a purpose. And so, but for me, it's just all about how efficient can I be as a fisherman? How can I make the most casts? And you know, you would think to yourself, well, I mean, what difference does it make if he makes 5 less casts in a day, or 7 less casts in a day, or 10 less casts in a day? But I mean, 2 of the fish that I won Angler of the Year with this last year literally came on my very last cast of the day. Last cast. And if I wouldn't have been efficient and planned it perfectly where I could do that, then I wouldn't have caught them. And both of those were big ones, got me points, and I wouldn't have won without them. So it does matter.
One item that helps Clark be a more efficient angler is the Tackle Titan Lure Management System from TH Marine. The Tackle Titan allows an angler to quickly locate or store baits inside of their boat. Let's hear how Clark uses the Tackle Titan to help him out on the water.
You know, one thing about me is that I'm not just real patient. In other words, when I cut off a bait, I usually just throw it in the floor. Well, the great thing is TH Marine's come out with a Tackle Titan. You look at the Tackle Titan right here, I've got 4 different ones. I've got one on each side because I like the configuration. I can store a whole pack of baits on there. And so now, instead of putting those baits and letting them be on the floor and them being everywhere at the end of the day, and I got to put them all up, I basically just take them and stick them up there. They work extremely well. They keep the bait. They've got holes in them. If you want to hook like a jig or something on there, or maybe like a frog like I've got right there, you can take a bait and it's got a great magnet in it. If I want to take the bait, I just stick it up there. Got the magnet. That magnet holds it all day long. And I know that my stuff's a lot more organized. And then when I got time late in the day, I can stick it all back in the proper box.
You know that guy that's always bringing in big ones from offshore? He's got secret lures. That guy that can pull out his spinning rod and start catching them when you can't buy a bite. He's got secret lures. What about that guy that can follow you down the bank and catch what you left behind? He's got secret lures.
Oh, yeah, good one.
If you're ready to be that guy, get your secret lures today at secretlures.com.
Born in Japan, FC Sniper became the #1 fluorocarbon line in the Japanese market. It transitioned to the U.S. in the early 2000s and continues to grow in prominence with anglers. FC Sniper is the flagship product in the American market and bestseller. It features the perfect blend of abrasion resistance, low memory, and tensile strength. FC Sniper is offered in pound tests that range from 2 pound to 30 pound and in spool sizes up to 1,200 yards. FC Sniper has the strength to guarantee your confidence.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Power Pole Total Boat Control, TH Marine, from transom to trolling motor, and by Spro Sports Professionals.
I got another one. Second cast in a row.
So what you have to understand fishing with Clark is there's no mercy. When it comes to fishing, golf, or Chutes and ladders. I mean, he's going to try to just outdo everybody. I threw over his line, but that's part of the competitive streak that makes it work for him.
Here, wait, I'm gonna come back here with you.
Yeah, he just gets it done after that way. No mercy. One other thing you never do with Clark, don't ever, if you catch like the 3 fish, you ain't caught none, never tell him that. Because you're gonna be, everything changes immediately after that.
Gosh,
God, those are fat.
Yeah, they are good ones. That's fun.
You know, the competitive nature of guys like Clark, and there's others out there that have won multiple, AOY titles, or competitors in any sport. You know, they want to beat you at tiddlywinks. They want to pound you in the ground in golf. They want to, they want to dominate you out there. And that competitive spirit is what makes them special, because they're always trying to win.
I'm just a competitive person. I mean, people talk about it all the time. Wade and I had a conversation today talking about the competitive nature of most of the fishermen that he knows that are really driven and do well in big level tournaments. They're all the same. They've got this level of competitiveness that they just want to beat you at whatever it is. I love competing. I think it's fun. I mean, I have matured greatly. At 25, and you would have beat me. I mean, used to be when I did bad in a tournament, I mean, it might take me a week to just recover. I mean, be able to even hardly talk to somebody after the tournament was over. I have mellowed a ton as far as that goes, but I've also matured a lot, and I see that, yeah, I can be driven as I want to, but I can't get that one back. I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna continue to move forward.
God, you're so tight. Look at the belly on that thing.
You know, Wade called me and he said, hey, listen, dude, every single time we fish together, you're coming in my boat. I'm the guy that's running the show. You just get to go along and fish. I want to do that with you one time. And I'm like, well, I mean, heck yeah, we'd do that. I love fishing with you, so let's go someplace. Hey, maybe we'll go someplace and we'll really catch them good. And so, we decided to come over to Fayette County and went about 200 yards from the boat ramp and whacked them. I mean, like one after another, after another, after another, and it was really fun. I mean, Wade got in the back. He was just back there just asking me questions, interviewing me. So it was a good time. I mean, it's fun fishing with Wade anyway, but when you can catch them really good, accomplish everything you need to, it's really fun.
You know, when you look back on Clark's year of 2020 and the dedication and the time, oldest guy to ever win the Bassmaster Angler of the Year, and that sounds like, well, as an old guy winning, he's still a young soul inside. He loves to fish. And for me, being able to get out here, as I have many times, and spending time on the water, it's just fun. And I had thought about this show idea and concept for a while, and then when the magazine came in from Bassmaster and all the little tidbits and things that I already knew behind the scenes, it just made a lot of sense. I just wanted to sit in the back of the boat, lean up against it, cast over that Yamaha in whatever direction. If I didn't catch a fish the whole time, just let him tell the story, let him go and digest some of the things that were important to him, and me kind of tease and poke at him. But a new season's here. You know, he's out on the Bassmaster Tour right now, trying to win it again, and I promise you, every cast, every moment, he's trying to win that trophy again.
I still like bass.
You're all into the bass. I'm seasonal. I got to change, go catch the crappie, catch me some speckled trout. That's a good one.
It is, it's a good one.
That's what'll drive you to do this into your 60s, Clark.
I hope so. This is what may give me all the gray hairs, though, is when the money's on the line, I got to get him in a tournament. But I did good this year, so.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Bass Pro Shops Fisherman's Handbook as we looked back at Clark's 4th Angler of the Year title. This has been a Carico TV production.
I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane. I got my power pole down.
We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish. our employees fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species. Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line.